Has Russell Brand's world just imploded? The comedian, actor, and self-styled wellness guru is facing serious criminal charges in the UK. Rape, sexual assault, and indecent assault, stemming from allegations dating back over 25 years. From Hollywood heartthrob to controversial online figure, Brand's journey has been wild. But this latest chapter is a bombshell that's dividing fans, critics, and even the internet. Is he being targeted, or is justice finally catching up? Hit that subscribe button, grab your coffee, and let's unpack every detail of this explosive story. This is Russell Brand, charged with multiple sexual offenses. Let's dive in. On April 4th, 2025, London's Metropolitan Police dropped a bombshell. Russell Brand, now 50, was charged with 5 counts of sexual offenses involving 4 women. The charges include 1 count of rape, 1 count of indecent assault, 1 count of oral rape, and 2 counts of sexual assault, all allegedly committed between 1999 and 2005 in Bournemouth and London. These aren't new accusations. They stem from a 2023 investigation sparked by a joint exposé from the Sunday Times, The Times, and Channel 4's Dispatches, which accused Brand of rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse. After 18 months of digging, the Crown Prosecution Service decided there was enough evidence to charge him. Brand, who's been living in Florida, was notified by post and is set to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on May 2, 2025. But what led to this moment, and why is it shaking up the world? Let's go back to the beginning. If you're new to the Russell Brand saga, here's the quick rundown. In the early 2000s, Brand was a UK comedy superstar. Think flamboyant, long-haired, and unapologetically provocative. He hosted shows on MTV and BBC Radio, starred in films like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Get Him to the Greek, and wrote a best-selling memoir, My Bookie Wook, where he openly dished about his heroin addiction and sexual exploits. In 2010, he married pop icon Katy Perry after a whirlwind romance, only for the marriage to crash and burn 14 months later. By the mid-2010s, Brand reinvented himself as a spiritual, anti-establishment figure, building a massive online following with YouTube videos and podcasts blending wellness, conspiracy theories, and critiques of mainstream media. He's leaned hard into Christianity recently, often framing himself as a reformed man living in the light of the Lord. But his past, and these allegations, are casting a long shadow. So, what exactly is Brand accused of? The charges relate to 4 women and incidents between 1999 and 2005, when Brand was at the peak of his fame. Here's the breakdown based on police and media reports. 1999, Bournemouth. 1 woman alleges Brand raped her in a southern England town. 2001, Westminster, London. Another woman claims Brand indecently assaulted her. 2004, Westminster, London. A 3rd woman accuses Brand of oral rape and sexual assault. 2004 to 2005, Westminster, London. A 4th woman alleges sexual assault. These accusations first surfaced in September 2023, when the Sunday Times and Channel 4's Dispatches aired In Plain Sight, Russell Brand, a 90-minute documentary. 4 women, mostly anonymous, shared stories of sexual assault and emotional abuse, with one claiming she was 16 when Brand, then 30, began a relationship with her, allegedly making disturbing comments about her age. A 5th woman later accused Brand of sexual assault on the set of his 2010 film, Arthur, leading to a civil lawsuit in New York. Brand's lawyers are now worried this U.S. case could trigger criminal charges there too, especially since Warner Brothers has offered unseen Arthur footage as evidence. These are heavy claims, and they've been polarizing from the start. Brand hasn't stayed quiet. Hours after the charges were announced, he posted a 44-second video on X denying all allegations. He said, "I've never engaged in non-consensual sexual activity. I pray you can see that by looking in my eyes." He admitted to being a fool in his past, citing his history as a drug addict and sex addict, but insisted he was never a rapist. In another post, he called the charges Baroque attacks and claimed the law has become a weapon against him, suggesting he's being targeted for his outspoken views. Brand vowed to return to the UK for his May 2nd court date. saying he's incredibly grateful for the chance to clear his name. Some fans rallied behind him, with one commenting, "God will be your character witness," while others were brutal, like one ex-user who wrote, "Face your charges, stop hiding behind Jesus." The divide is stark, and it's only getting wider. To understand how we got here, let's rewind to September 2023. The Dispatch's documentary and Sunday Times report didn't just drop out of nowhere, they were the result of years of whispers about Brand's behavior. The expose detailed allegations from 4 women, including the 16-year-old who claimed Brand called her child and made unsettling remarks about her age. Other women, like TV presenters Vanessa Feltz and Lorraine Kelly, went public about uncomfortable encounters with Brand on set. The Metropolitan Police launched an investigation, and by November 2023, they had questioned Brand under caution about 3 non-recent sexual offenses. Over 18 months, detectives gathered enough evidence to recommend charges, which the Crown Prosecution Service approved in April 2025. Jaswant Narwal, chief Crown prosecutor, said the decision came after carefully reviewing the evidence, emphasizing the charge's severity. This wasn't a snap decision, it was methodical, and that's why it's hitting so hard. While the UK charges are front and center, Brand's legal troubles don't stop there. In New York, a woman who worked as an extra on Arthur filed a civil lawsuit claiming Brand sexually assaulted her in 2010. His legal team is scrambling to delay the case, arguing it could overlap with the UK criminal investigation and prejudice both. Court documents from April 1st, 2025, show Brand's lawyers expressing reasonable belief that he could face US criminal charges, especially given the media spotlight and similar allegations. Warner Brothers upping the ante by offering Arthur outtakes doesn't help Brand's case. If the US does pursue charges, this could turn into a transatlantic legal nightmare for him. The internet and celebrity world are split on this. On X, reactions range from support to outright condemnation. Posts like "Oh Terrible 8008s" questioned if Brand's being targeted for his anti-establishment views, while AMU suggested the charges are weaponization against him for challenging the UK government. Meanwhile, others aren't buying it. One ex-user called it F-eased, that Brand thanks supporters after being charged with 5 sex offenses, and another labeled him a blasphemer for hiding behind Jesus. High-profile figures have weighed in too. Right-wing pundit Steven Crowder backed Brand, but mainstream celebs like Katy Perry haven't commented publicly. Though netizens on X and the Times of India quipped, "Thank God Katy Perry divorced him." The public's divided, with some seeing Brand as a victim of cancel culture, others as a predator finally facing accountability. The backlash against Brand is fierce, but so is his support base. Critics argue the allegations fit a pattern. Brand's own memoir bragged about his promiscuity, and he admitted on Fox News in April 2025 that sex was one of his main motivations for pursuing fame. Posts on X and articles in the Mary Sue slammed him for leaning into his Christian rebrand while dodging accountability, with one user saying, "You got a lot of sexual misconduct claims against you, for years. Perhaps try being a better person." But Brand's fans, especially his online wellness and conspiracy theory followers, see this as a witch hunt. They point to his recent moves, like speaking at New College of Florida about free speech just days after the charges, as proof he's being punished for his views. The Daily Mail reported Brand attending church in Florida on Easter Sunday, April 20th, 2025, framing it as him clinging to faith amid the storm. It's a tale of 2 narratives, and neither side's backing down. This case isn't just about Russell Brand, it's a flashpoint for bigger issues. First, it's a test of how society handles historical sexual offense allegations. The Me Too movement gave survivors a platform, but prosecuting decades-old claims is tricky. Evidence fades, memories shift, and public opinion sways. The Dispatch's investigation showed how media can amplify these stories, but it also sparked debates about trial by media. Second, Brand's pivot to right-wing, anti-establishment rhetoric has made him a lightning rod. His supporters claim he's being targeted because he's one of us, as one X-post put it, while critics argue he's using his platform to deflect. Finally, this case highlights the clash between celebrity culture and accountability. Brand's fame and his openness about his wild past makes him a complex figure. Is he a reformed man, or is his past catching up? The courts will decide, but the public's already made up its mind. So, what happens now? Brand's first court appearance is May 2nd, 2025, at Westminster Magistrates Court. He's promised to fight the charges, and his legal team's already working to manage the US civil case. If convicted in the UK, he could face years in prison. Rape alone carries a maximum 7-year sentence. The US situation is murkier. No criminal charges have been filed, but the Arthur lawsuit and potential prosecution keep the pressure on. Brand's career is also taking hits. YouTube demonetized him in 2023 after the initial allegations, and his mainstream media presence is all but gone. Still, his online following remains loyal, and he's doubling down with events like his Florida college talk. The Daily Mail reported he's cut most ties with the UK, living in Florida with his wife Laura and their 3 kids, but he'll have to face the music in London soon. This saga raises tough questions. Can someone truly change, or does the past define them? Brand's fans see a man who's evolved, from addict to spiritual guide, and believe he's being unfairly targeted. His critics point to a pattern of behavior, backed by multiple accusers across decades, and say his reinvention is a shield. There's also the question of power dynamics. Brand was a megastar in the 2000s, and the allegations suggest he exploited that status. The Times of India noted one accuser's claim that Brand told her at 16, "I don't give a fuss if you're 12. I need to know where I stand legally." If true, that's chilling. Yet, Brand's insistence that all his relationships were consensual and his willingness to face court keeps the debate alive. This isn't just a legal battle, it's a cultural one. Let's wrap this up. Russell Brand's charges are a seismic moment for him, for his accusers, and for a world grappling with how to handle allegations like these. The evidence will play out in court, but the court of public opinion is already in session, and it's brutal. Brand's gone from Hollywood darling to polarizing figure, and these charges could define his legacy. Whether you see him as a victim of a system out to get him, or a man finally facing justice, one thing's clear. This story's far from over. What do you think? Is Brand being targeted, or are the allegations too serious to dismiss? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the convo going. If you want more deep dives into stories like this, hit subscribe and ring that bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.